All right, welcome back for another movie review. I'm Brandon Reines.
I'm Faizel John.
Hellraiser 4. It's called Hellraiser Bloodline. Can't remember if it's Hellraiser 4 Bloodline or just Hellraiser Bloodline.
See, that's the annoying thing. I was gonna bring that up. It's Hellraiser, Bloodlines, also known as Hellraiser 4, Bloodline.
Okay, yeah.
So they
No,
just
no
gave it
confusion
up.
there.
Honestly, this movie is basically where they just gave everything up. I feel like there were seven different people who wanted their way on this film, and they were just like, all right, whatever.
Gather you didn't really like it from your opening
Oh
statement.
man, this is not a good movie to me. I very rarely say that. Even as a kid, I think I saw this movie when I was 14. Like even as a kid, I remember being like, "This is not good."
Yeah, honestly, I will say that it has kind of grown on me.
Yeah.
Like the first few times I watched it, I hated it, but I would watch it semi-regularly when I would do my, Hellraiser run through.
Mhm.
And maybe because knowing what comes after it, this is an absolute masterpiece compared to some of the others. But it is like it was always, yeah, there's just so many things wrong with it. But even last
It's
night
got
when I watched it, it was like you could see there is a good movie in there. It's just someone or several people ruined it. But
it's got
it's
really good special effects. The digital effects are like for what 1996, they're really good. I'll
yeah,
give
there's
it
that. There's a lot of cool things in it. It's just it's hard to follow. There's so many things that don't make sense. And there's even just like not even like overall storyline, but just like one scene to the next. Like I wrote down a few examples. The first part takes place like the 1700s, and then there's modern day, and then there's the future.
that.
In the modern day part, there's a scene where the main dude is talking to the Angelique, the like Cenobite girl. They're together, and she's trying to seduce him. All of a sudden, it cuts to Pinhead, when he's threatening the wife and kid, and all of a sudden the guy comes running home like frantic, looking for his wife. But there was nothing in between. Like 2 seconds ago, he was with Angelique, so like, why didn't Pinhead grab him then? And how did he find out his wife was in trouble? It's like you could tell something was cut there because like there's just a massive gap in the story there.
Well, I'll get into this actually because this is all part of it, but I'm going to read I wanted to read this specifically from the intro on the Wikipedia page because I just wanted to like note this. It was not screened for critics and received negative reviews. So even when it came out, they were like, we better not let the critics see this one. But like I think they wanted to, so they made Bloodlines, or sorry, they made Hell on Earth Part 3, and they were like, all right, well, let's make another one. And then they had a script that was written, but then it got rewritten by another person. And then they had to like they got the one guy to direct it who was the guy who directed like Face Off, I believe. Oh no, he did the effects for Face Off. I got hold on, let me look up his filmography here. He did a lot of he's a special effects guy, but I think this was his directorial debut. So they got him to do this, and he really liked the script, so he shot the movie as the script required. And then the producers saw it and they were like, this is terrible. So they got a third person to rewrite it. And then they told the director, hey, shoot this extra footage. And he did refuse to. So then they got a second director to come in and direct extra footage. So the first director, it's one of those movies that ended up in the Alan Smithy, where like
Yeah.
if you don't want your movie, if you don't want people to know who you made a terrible movie, you put it under Alan Smithy. But yeah, it just passed through seven different hands or something. So like it is disjointed because that's how it is.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know if it's anyone's fault. And I have a feeling it wasn't a writer or director, it was probably a
There's some
producer.
producers that are
Yeah.
that we can
Because they're like,
probably
oh, we
name.
want more Pinhead. We want Pinhead in it earlier. And it's like, yeah, but that doesn't make sense with our story. And they're like, well, move stuff around.
Who cares
Um,
about the story? Make it look cool and put it in the past,
yeah.
but also the future.
Which it did. It's like it could have worked. Like I think like the stuff in the 1700s was cool, modern day stuff was cool, the future was cool. Like there was a potentially good movie there. It's just trying to follow it and just things like it's like okay, the Angelique girl, she was like killed and then brought back as like some sort of demon. So it makes sense that okay, she survived the for
Through the
centuries
year.
because she's a demon. But the thing is, like the Adam Scott character, that guy Jacques, who was like the assistant, he survives for like 200 years as well. But why is he still? He's just a normal
His
human.
soul keeps getting reborn or some shit. It's
Yeah,
so
but he's like
weird.
he's the same age, but they don't explain why. It's just like he's alive, and then the next scene you see him in modern day, and then Angelique kills him anyway. And just things like so she's a demon, but she looks like a human. But why doesn't she look like a Cenobite? She looks like a Cenobite in the future after she goes
But
back to hell. But the thing is, Pinhead even tells her like, why don't you take off your costume and show how you really look? Kind of hinting that she is a Cenobite underneath her human form. But why is she the only one that doesn't look like a Cenobite,
it
but she does
looks
later?
like that. Yeah, well, do
Like
the other Cenobites have costumes too? It's
yeah, like, but she's the only
so
one. It's just like,
disjointed. They didn't release it another Hellraiser movie
yeah,
theatrically after
yeah,
this.
in 25 years, how long it's been. And you can see why. It's like it could have worked. I got a few other notes of this thing. Oh yeah, right near the end, like kind of the very end, when the main guy in the future is confronting Pinhead,
Mhm.
and he's talking to the woman, like on the spaceship, and he's like, I have to go face Pinhead. And then she's running around being chased by the dogs, and all of a sudden it just cuts to a scene where that guy is facing Pinhead in a room.
Yep.
Like it doesn't show him, like it just seems like they cut something out and he's all of a sudden face to face with Pinhead.
Well,
But then it turns out he's a hologram and he's not actually there.
what is the film running time? It's like an hour 20,
It's
hour
pretty
10.
short.
The original cut was 110 minutes, so just shy of 2 hours. And
There
then they
is
hacked it up.
it just came out, but there is they did release a new like I don't know, it's like a 4K Ultra or whatever it's called, version of the movie called I can't remember its name. It's like something of something. It's like quantum of something or some sort of name. It came out like within the last year or two that apparently has all that original footage restored. I just don't know
Oh,
where to find it where it's not like $300 like it is on Amazon.
yeah, I gotta look this up. What? I did not know about this. Because I would love to see the original 10-minute cut.
It's called Quartet of Torment. Now, I'm not 100% sure of this, but I've heard something about it being like 20 or 40 minutes longer than the cut of Bloodline, but I haven't verified that.
So it is released by Arrow, Quartet of Torment. The Arrow is a DVD company that releases like old horror movies and slasher movies. Yeah, this is interesting. I don't know anything about it. Yeah, it must be restored from like original camera negatives or something. That's nuts.
Yeah, because that might solve our problems. Like maybe if the story is made to make sense how the creators intended, it'll actually be a decent
It'll
movie,
make some sense. Yeah.
or at least close to make sense.
Well, if any of our viewers want to donate the Hellraiser Quartet of Torment over to us, we'd love to watch it. I would love to actually see a good version of Hellraiser 3, 4. God, whenever a movie goes to space, like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Jason X is one of my favorites. Like they went to
Oh yeah, I
space.
love it.
This one is not good. Did
It's not in
Leprechaun go to space?
Leprechaun, yeah, in Leprechaun 4 he goes to space, and that was questionably good. I would say it's not very good, but not exactly.
I
The Leprechauns aren't the height of entertainment.
Leprechaun from the Hood and Leprechaun in the Hood too. Those are the classics. Those are the two best ones.
One thing I got to really dig at Hellraiser 4 for is the main like woman in the space part. Her name is Rimmer. Now, are you a fan of Red Dwarf?
No, no, I am not. But go
But the
on.
one it's a popular British sci-fi show. Started in 1988 and it's still going. Like they still make them. And the thing is, one of the main characters in there is named Rimmer, and it's like no, that name is off limits. You can't have a sci-fi thing
Yeah,
and
in
name them.
1996, they would have been super aware of that character
Yeah,
and that
like
show.
obviously they did it as a like homage, but it'd be like doing a space command type movie and naming your character like Picard. It's like
Yeah,
no, that
it's just
that
like
name is taken, or
too
like
on the nose. But again, I bet you that was some producer's note who was like, we need to make sure that people know they're watching a sci-fi movie.
yeah,
What's a good sci-fi show that people like?
yeah, it's or they thought they were being clever, or maybe they
Yeah.
thought that like, well, the show's not as popular in North America as it is in Britain, so they won't even know. It'll be our little
It's a
secret that we
little
have
Easter
this
egg.
thing that we only. It's like no, it's pretty damn popular among sci-fi fans. Like there's entire conventions every year for Red Dwarf. Like it's a pretty big deal. So that it just took as soon as I heard that, it's like I spent the next few minutes thinking about why they ripped off the name Rimmer, and I wasn't even listening to the movie. So it was just too big of a
Takes you
distraction.
entirely out of it.
Yeah, it just
Yeah, this
like
was entirely a movie, at least in my opinion, ruined by producers. Like too many people who controlled the ship, but not enough people being like, no, we don't do this.
yeah, they just like some of it would just like it would happen way too fast, and then other
Uh-huh.
parts were kind of like slow, and it was
Slow
just
as
Pinhead
hell.
talking for a long time, and then it was just like, and then things wouldn't make sense, and then it was just like they would jump from one scene to another. Even at the end, one of the cool parts was when the Space Marine guys at the end were getting killed. That was
Yep,
kind of
yep.
cool.
When
And
the hooks came into the guy's face and they were like, ah,
there's that, and then like the guy that was like pulled through the mirror, and then his
yeah.
body like split in half, like on the mirror. But the thing is, they put it like they have him like approaching the mirror, and he sees Angelique on the other side of the mirror, and all of a sudden they cut away to like some other guy running around, and then they cut back to the other guy to get pulled through the mirror. Why didn't they just do that all at once? Like it was so badly
Probably need to
edited.
cover some sort of cut there. There's probably something they hacked away, and then they were
Yeah,
like,
so they cut
shit,
to
we
a
need to
different
cover
scene,
this
like in
cut.
the middle of a kill. Like it was that was like amateur hour type cutting. And also at the very very end when Pinhead is being like killed, they never explained like what the hell happens to Angelique. She was
Yeah,
like a main character. And then the guy that had the twins that got their faces twisted together,
the
that
the twist.
Cenobite.
Yeah,
And
that
then and also the dog. I guess the dog gets blown up, but those two other Cenobites, they're not even
they
there
just
at the
kind of
end.
show up.
They came out of nowhere, and then it doesn't even show what happens to them. Like it's like the actors didn't couldn't come that day or something, so they just filmed it without them. Like
I truly think there's like, yeah, all of these answers are on the cutting room floor. Like I truly think like the twins getting their hair twisted up because at one point they were like, we have to be with each other or something like that, and then and Pinhead was like, oh, don't worry about that. And then I'm sure there was some, I don't know why, maybe they were like, they had the footage and they had to do like special effects on it, and they're like, nope, too expensive. Kick this out.
yeah, it could be. And there's also that weird part at the end when you see the twins and Angelique is in front of them, but she's standing so that her head is blocking the like
The
effects
the
where
the
they
swirly thing, yeah.
and I think they just did that so they didn't have to like do the makeup. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that that's very ridiculous. And it's like maybe I didn't get the story, but like when they're in that main office building, when the two security guys, the two security twins, get their like faces melded together,
Hmm?
like are they in real life or are they in the hell world? Like they go
Oh,
down this weird
yeah.
corridor that like they're like it's not on the map of the building, but there's this weird door. They go down it and then they stumble upon Pinhead and then he melds their faces together. But it's like,
Like
so is that his world or is he in the building? I don't
I
get it.
think it's a Silent Hill type situation where they enter the building and then because wasn't didn't part three end with like a building being made that looked like the lament configuration?
Yeah. So maybe the entire building is a portal. But the thing is,
Yeah.
Angelique in Bloodline, Angelique lures that like fat guy down, and then she punches the pillar to grab the box, and then he plays with it, and that opens it up. So maybe that opened up like the entire building was now.
It became it the hell world. But then I still don't understand how like the giant lament configuration closing in on Pinhead then closes the portal. Like I think I understand, but I don't fully know.
I think
Understand.
it's like because it was saying like the original toy maker tried to design a box to like counter the lament configuration, and it had something to do with mirrors and light. So in the future, he made that in space
It
around,
just
and
had
for
to be
some
bigger.
reason, maybe he just made it fold into a box to look cool. Maybe he didn't need to be a box.
I mean, it's
But
the best one. Some of the best like special effects of the movie is when the thing is like starting to fold, and it's like, oh, cool, that looks cool as hell.
yeah, they did. They
Did you
looked
know
kind
that
of
was?
cool, and I liked it that they killed Pinhead once and for all. They should have just stopped it there while they were marginally ahead, and then until
They
they're
were
just
like,
like,
we're gonna get even further from this.
so you
Did
thought
you know
part
the
four was
building?
bad? We'll show you how bad this can sink, and then they spent the next 20 years progressively getting worse.
Did you know the building that they shot in, like the spaceship buildings? Let's see here. Is the Magnin building, which is rumored to be haunted, and an abandoned that was one of the buildings they shot in, and the other one is an abandoned factory, which is converted into the space station. Where do you
Nice.
find an abandoned factory?
I don't know, Detroit maybe. I don't know. Did they shoot it in England or US?
Let's see. Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where do you find an abandoned factory in Los Angeles? They're just I gotta look up what the Magnin building is. I didn't look that up before. I probably should have, but like, yeah, so they shot in a haunted building, which is hilarious to me.
I was gonna say another little Easter egg from that movie is the main character, like the guy who kind of travels from time period to time period.
Yep,
He
yep.
was, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Killing Zoe,
No.
which it was the guy that co-wrote Pulp Fiction with Quentin Tarantino. It was that
Yep.
guy's first movie. So it's kind of, it came out during that like Reservoir Dogs Pulp Fiction phase because he was like Tarantino was like co-producer or whatever, but obviously Tarantino became way more famous. But Roger
Oh,
Avery made a movie called Killing Zoe, and that guy, who's actually a Canadian from Montreal, plays one of the bank robbers in that movie.
did you know that he made a sequel to Killing Zoe in 2019 called Lucky Day? I was planning, it was on my list of movies to watch one of these
What?
days. Yeah.
I was not aware of that. I'm like Killing Zoe is one of the movies I watched over and over when I was younger and I wanted to start making movies. So a lot of it's influenced a lot of what I've done. I was not aware that there was a sequel, but
In 2019, Avery directed the semi-sequel, Lucky Day.
I am going to look this up right now.
It has Nina Dobrev in it, who's from Vampire Diaries. I don't know if you ever watched that show.
Okay,
Holds a 9% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Damn.
sounds good. Well, it's got a 5.1 on
Metacritic?
IMDb.
Oh,
Better,
on
no, on
IMDb?
IMDb.
Okay.
It's been better than some of my movies. Oh, it's supposed to be like the Eric Stoltz character, but it's like a different guy playing him or something. Huh.
Okay.
That's interesting. But yeah, if
Crispin Glover's in
anyone hasn't
this.
seen Killing Zoe, that's if you're like a Tarantino fan, it's like it's right along those same lines.
I
But
haven't
yeah,
seen Killing Zoe, so I'm gonna. Digimon Hansu is in it. I'm gonna watch this tonight. Putting this on my list because I have not seen this one. What are you rating Hell Bloodline? I can't even say the goddamn title of the movie.
Hellraiser Bloodline. I would give it. I think I would give it just a solid 5.
Five? I was gonna give it a four because it's the fourth in the series.
That's
That's
pretty good.
gets
Yeah,
a
it's.
point for every step it's taken.
I try to see the good in everything, and I try to be positive, but it was really
This
pushing
one
it.
made it hard.
It's like it could almost be good if you just like edited all the cool parts together into a video, and then that was like it. It'd be like, yeah, that's kind of a cool video, but as a
Or a
narrative
video game.
story,
Like if you made the 12, 14, 40 hour video game, I think that'd be cool as hell.
yeah, I think there's enough
I feel
story
like
possibilities
in the
there.
late 90s, early 2000s, there was this whole thing where they were like, let's just make the movies as short as we can, like 70 minutes and 90 minutes, and anything longer than that is bad. But like, I like a nice long movie. Like, you give me a 120, 160-minute movie, and I can sit down and just like lose myself in it, especially like Hellraiser, man, yeah, I can see the epic they would have made, like it's in like old-timey France and then like modern day and then in space. Like if you had given each of those like an hour on their own, like it would have made an amazing film.
Yeah, like the part in like 1700s France, like there was cool stuff there, and that dude, I guess he was supposed to be like Marquis de Sade kind of
Yeah,
character, but it was so quick, like they just blasted through the story. Like the
yeah, he's
first
doing
time you
like
see
the
them, it's like
summoning of the devil and stuff.
yeah, it was just like there was no introduction of the characters. It's like that it was like a synopsis. Like they just filmed the
Here's what
synopsis.
he's
Like
doing. He's bad.
yeah, it just
Yeah.
went so quick. And then there's other parts of like Pinhead where he's just talking with his usual bullshit, which is he says some cool stuff, but it's better in moderation. Like I don't want to hear Pinhead giving speeches because it's all just poetic kind of flowery
Like
bullshit,
keep
like
it to three, maybe four sentences for
yeah,
him.
just give him a few cool lines. But now he's apparently before they edited it, there was more of like well, apparently he fought Angelique. They had some like they would actually fight, but they also tried to write in like a romance, more of a romance thing between them or something. And like there was
I kind of picked up on that a little bit. They seem to have some weird flirtiness with them for a little bit.
I don't know if that's just because like she kind of does that with everyone. She's
Fair
always like
enough. She
seducing
does.
everyone. Um, but it just like it was kind of cool to see more Pinhead. He has a lot of cool shots in it, but um, and it was kind of cool how like yeah, the dude got killed in like the 1700s, and you got killed again in the modern day. but it's like his descendants or whatever because he had his kid. Another thing that doesn't make sense is
Yep.
like it's like, okay, so this Angelique woman lives from the 1700s for hundreds of years, unaware that this guy's bloodline continued. But in this small
Yeah.
town in France, like, wouldn't she know that this like fairly popular toy maker like had a kid? Like,
Well, that's what I always wonder is like, why now? Why did you pick this particular moment to like enact your revenge and kill the
I
bloodline? Why
figured that
not?
she didn't notice until she saw the magazine cover with that guy and was like, "Oh, his bloodline continues."
Oh,
But
yeah,
like he
you
lived in
never
your
passed them in the street once. You never
yeah, like
like
they lived in a not only that, but they were like from a wealthy family, like in France. Like they could have used their resources to like find this guy's wife, find out if he has a kid. They could see she's pregnant, or like they would have just like over the years heard news. But also, like, would they even recognize him? Like 200 years later, like, would they really? He'd have the same last name, and he would be so visibly similar that they would recognize him on a magazine cover.
like I
Like it
said,
just
they're just like he's been reincarnated through the years. It's like, come on.
yeah, and it's like yeah, and then that Adam Scott's character like was like still alive and then dies in that scene, but it's like did he become a demon too
Is
or
he
just
still
Angelique can
alive?
let him
Yeah.
live? Like
Was he already a demon?
however, apparently like Adam Scott, obviously he went on to be quite famous, but I was reading on Wikipedia, it said that he like even though the movie did poorly and was badly reviewed, he still credits it as like helping him get bigger acting gigs. And they said he even came
Uh,
back and auditioned for Hellraiser 5, hoping that like the producers wouldn't notice that he was in the last movie. And he said they never said anything at the audition, but he didn't get the role, so he didn't. He said he doesn't know it. He's like they might have recognized him as already being in the movie, but
yeah, because he's everywhere now, right? He just finished. Did you watch his latest series, Severance? That was really good. Talk about horror like shows. That was really good. I did not know he was in Madam Web. I'm looking at his IMDb now.
uh, he might be the most like famous guy in that movie, I guess. Like
Yeah, I think
anyone,
so. Like besides Doug Bradley,
yeah,
maybe.
besides Doug Brown. Well, I guess the like the wife in the main modern day part, she was the girlfriend in Nightmare on Elm Street 2. And she was
Ah,
also in Seinfeld. I remember her from Seinfeld.
she well, the director did the special effects for Nightmare on Elm Street too.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's yeah, that's probably where he got to meet her.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2, the gay one.
Yeah, I don't care what anyone says. That's still a good one. I didn't like when I saw when I was younger. Like I was not. I don't know if it's because I was young or that era, but like I never even noticed any sort of gay part to it until people started pointing it out, and I'm like, now that you mention it, and now it's like I
It
don't know
is
how I didn't
pretty
think.
like it's a whole yeah, it's a whole thing. I think it's the same with like I kind of noticed it when I first saw it. It's the same with some movie Fight Club. Fight Club is so like homoerotic. Like when I first watched it, I was like, "What is going on here?" And then like everybody else is like, "No, it's the coolest thing ever." I was like, I don't know. There's some movies that like yeah, you can. They're just so drenched in homoeroticism. But like I guess mainstream America or mainstream world is just kind of like, no, no, that's just dudes being dudes.
And it's also like when I saw Nightmare 2 the first time when I was young, like I'd never even been to a bar before. So that
Ah,
part where
yeah.
he goes to like that gay club, it's like I don't know what the hell goes on at bars. Like it's just like, oh, it's some weird bar where they dress in leather. Like I didn't think anything of it. But looking
You're
back,
just
it's like
like, these guys really like this aesthetic. I mean, huh?
yeah. But it's kind of
They
like
all like
if you're
mustaches.
not thinking that, I'm just watching it for the story, right? And then
Yeah.
but looking back, it's like, okay, I can kind of see where they're coming from. And disregarding all of that, A Nightmare 2 is a good movie. It gets trashed a lot because it's kind of the weird one of the bunch. Like,
Well, yeah, but I think it's good. Yeah, in retrospect, and especially with all the other Nightmare movies, I think it fits just fine.
yeah, it's still a cool movie. But it's like Hellraiser, right? It's like they change the rules for every movie, and they don't really make sense. Like in this one, Freddy shows up at a pool party in real life and starts hacking kids
I
up,
think
and
I think in terms of Nightmare, it's probably more acceptable for me at least when they change the rules because it's dream logic. So like Freddy Krueger exists in dreams, it's his rules. But like I get what you mean though. I see where you're coming from with that.
yeah, they do. I made up my own rules for Nightmare on Elm Street to like explain why it changes from movie to movie. But I really shouldn't. I know it's one of the common complaints if you watch like YouTube reviews. They complain about how like every movie it just changes the mythos of it and stuff, and it really pisses some people off. I can overlook it because it's the dream world and it leaks into the real world sometimes. So there's some like bleed
Exactly.
over
So
and
there's a little bit of rules, but they can change. But yeah,
yeah.
either way, this movie was terrible.
Yeah, it's the worst of the first four,
The
but I
four,
still
yeah.
think it's better than five, six, seven, and eight. And I haven't seen the Revelation, Judgment, or the remake,
Yeah, I
so I
haven't
can't
seen
really
any of
compare 'em.
those. I think I saw the remake once, but I wasn't really paying attention. But yeah, no, I've only ever seen the first four, and I'm just like, three, the first three were good. I don't know why anybody made the fourth one.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I bet you, like, because Clive Barker was on board for the fourth one, like he approved of the
Yes,
story, he helped conceive it. It could have been good. It probably looked good on paper, and then
cutting room floor.
somehow, kind of like I read what happened with Exorcist 2. Like Linda Blair said that the script that she was given was actually good, and then somehow as they started making it, everything got changed and it turned into what it became, and it was a piece of shit. So it's like,
Basically,
and that's why I think like people have even said like when I, with my films, it's like if I'm the writer director, like there's a single vision. It's not going to
yeah,
get ruined by anyone that isn't me, really.
doesn't get diluted down at all.
Where as soon as you bring in like producers, other people, then all of a sudden everyone's making changes to it, and
Everybody
then
wants a piece of like their story in it, and then suddenly becomes eight stories cobbled into one.
yeah, and then you get a piece of shit like this. So it's although that might be I shouldn't say it's that. I don't think it's that bad. And like I say, like every time I watch it, I seem to like it a little bit more. Maybe it's just because I'm kind of like forcing myself to appreciate the good things, and I'm like mentally filling in the
You're just like,
nonsensical
yeah, ignoring
gaps.
all the bad ones. You're just
Like,
kind of
well,
like,
if you imagine that this happened in between these two parts, it kind of makes sense.
you're just gaslighting yourself into liking the movie.
But it's like yeah, we really got to watch that fuller version because yeah, if it's like they add a lot in there, maybe it'll help.
I bet you it's so much better.
Yeah, I don't know if I haven't heard from. Usually, I would have heard from someone. Someone on Facebook would have had a comment on it. I remember people talking about that it was put out and that existed, but I haven't heard any actual reviews. So,
Yeah, I couldn't find
um,
anything besides just the release notes. I couldn't find like any information about what it's about, what's going on with it, or any of that.
yeah, I mean, there's got to be something on Wikipedia, but maybe if I could sell enough Grotesque 2 DVDs, I'll have enough money to buy it, and then I'll lend it to
Hey, then we can do a special review.
you. All right, so I think that's it for today, and not sure what movie we're gonna do next, but it'll be a surprise when we do it. So
It'll
bye for
be
now,
better
everyone.
than Hellraiser 4. See you, folks.